My neglectful parents always preferred my disabled sister over me and thought I was fine with it. But on my 18th birthday, I finally snapped and ran away from home. My sister was born when I was 2 years old and was diagnosed with Down syndrome. Naturally, she garnered more attention from my parents, but I didn't have a problem with that since I also liked playing with her. But as we grew up, things changed for the worse. I would constantly have to give up the chance to watch my favorite TV shows because she needed her comforting music videos. Whenever I would bring home a test that I scored perfect on, I would get ignored in favor of my sister who got 50% on it. I still kept working hard at school because it was my dream to one day become a lawyer. But it always irked me whenever my parents told others that I was only performing well because of the effort they put into raising me. When I was 13, they organized a vacation without even telling me they were going somewhere. They were taking my sister to Disneyland and just assumed that I don't like Disney because I'm a boy, which made no sense. I told them that I really wanted to go, but they said that the tickets were already booked, so there's nothing they can do. My sister also had a bunch of food allergies, meaning we couldn't just eat at any restaurant. I still wanted my parents to sometimes cook the food that I liked, but they always said, we as a family need to eat the same food as her to show our support. However, I think they misunderstood the meaning of allergies. Every time my sister said she didn't like something, they assumed it was because she was allergic to it. When my 16th birthday was coming up, they made a big deal about it and told me that they would take me anywhere I wanted for my birthday party. I told them I wanted to go eat some Italian food at this really famous fast food restaurant. They replied, we can't take you there because your sister is allergic to Italian food. She isn't allergic at all, and actually just doesn't like it, but of course my parents wouldn't admit that. I asked them if they were lying when they told me I could ask for anything, and they got really flustered. Then they tried to guilt trip me by saying, you wouldn't want your sister to be all hungry while you're celebrating, right? I kindly reminded them that they had planned an entire vacation while excluding me. My birthday was a special day for me, so they should be able to compromise a little. But to my surprise, they just flat out refused my wish. For an entire week, they kept asking if I changed my mind and was ready to do the right thing. My answer never changed, however, since I wasn't just going to back down this time. They didn't even care and told me that they had booked the family favorite restaurant for my birthday. The family favorite that they are referring to is a restaurant that is loved by my sister, but I hate eating there. It only serves fish and sushi, both of which I can't even digest properly. Seeing that they cared so little about my opinion and wishes, I just gave up and let them do as they wanted. I don't know why, but they once again went on Facebook and made a post about how they were talking me to my so-called favorite restaurant even though it was expensive. Little did they know, I had plans to just disappear with my friends on the actual day of my birthday. I woke up before everyone else at 7 a.m. and went out to hang out at my best friend's place. A few hours later, I started getting angry texts and calls demanding me to come home, but I ignored everything. I had a surprisingly good time once my other friends showed up and everyone pitched in to go to the Italian place that I wanted to go to in the first place. When I finally returned home, I was yelled at for wasting a reservation and grounded to my room for an entire month. I asked my parents if they took my sister to eat that night, and they said yes. So I argued that the reservation wasn't actually wasted. But then I was yelled at for talking back, and they took my phone away from me. I learned a valuable lesson that day. I needed to escape this house because no one here actually cared about me. I found a job and spent the next 2 years saving up enough money to move out. Thankfully, my parents didn't make me pay rent since they didn't know about my job. But on the other hand, they thought I was becoming a rebel who stayed out until late and therefore started scolding me every chance they got. I didn't let that bother me though, and kept working. The most important thing was to not let my grades slip, because I desperately needed a scholarship if I ever wanted to get into law school. Anyway, fast forward 2 years, and my 18th birthday is coming up. I have saved nearly $3,000 and am ready to move out, having already scouted an apartment. My plan was to just pack all my stuff up and disappear without saying anything. But then they started making a big deal about me turning 18, and said that I could ask for anything I wanted. I realized it was a repeat of 2 years ago, and decided to give them a chance to make things right. I told them I wanted to go eat at the Italian place again, and decided that if they agreed, I would abandon my plans to move out. And of course, they told me to cut it out and that I needed to accommodate my little sister even if it's my special day, completely ignoring the fact that we have been accommodating her for her entire life. The weirdest part was that they once again booked a reservation at that family favorite restaurant and assumed that I had learnt my lesson. One day before my birthday, I decided to tell them my true feelings on the matter. I sat down peacefully and started explaining my point of view of how they were doing things. I never raised my voice, and yet, just 2 minutes into the conversation, I was told to shut up. Apparently, I was a rude, rebellious kid because I couldn't handle them taking care of my sister instead of me. This is when I lost my cool. I stood up and yelled at them, listen to what I'm saying, goddammit. It's not a matter of who you're taking care of, it's a matter of who you love more and who you don't love at all. I yelled a lot of things, none of which I regret in retrospect. But, thanks to that, I was grounded and the next day they went to the restaurant without me. Which gave me more than enough time to move out without dealing with their confrontation again. Now, it doesn't matter if they grow up and suddenly decide that my life also matters, because as far as I'm concerned, I became an orphan on the day my sister was born.